Hi, this is Francisca, and this is my mid-crisis life, and I'm making this video. It's really late. It's the very last thing that I have on my list, my very long list of things that I had to do today. I've just come back from like a 3.5 hour long appointment with some kids. It was really nice, but I'm very tired. Um, yeah, so this is my 100th video. Woo! um, and kind of like, okay, so something's supposed to happen, right? something something's supposed to happen now, right? I've made 100 videos. I watched this thing by a guy who's kind of doing the same thing and has made it work, and has bucked the trend and been the exception to the rule and blah 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 and all that shit, right? And he said, I made a commitment to make 100 videos, and no matter what, I said I was going to make a video every single day, and I made 100 videos, and then whoop-de-doo, just like that, it all happened. It all turned around. His whole life changed. And I'm at my 100 video, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready for my miracle now. Like, surely something's amazing supposed to be happening right now, but clearly it isn't. I'm just still sat in my car, pretty much talking to myself, which is a little bit depressing. But everything's a process, I guess, right? And what happens for one person doesn't necessarily happen for everybody. And also, I haven't made a video every single day. There's been times when I'm like, can't be asked. And I haven't had that kind of steadfastness and that same like commitment, to getting it done no matter what. Like, this is what I want. This is what I'm moving towards. I'm taking a step every single day. So it's been a little bit intermittent, a little bit sporadic. And I'm not saying, therefore, that I don't deserve for amazing things to happen. I'm just saying, you have to commit, right? But what I do think is pretty cool is that this is my 100th video, and I set myself this target and I've made it. So that's the first thing that's really, really, really cool about this. But also, the other thing that's really cool is that my 100th video happens to be being recorded on the 22nd of November. And I didn't realize actually until I set myself the task to make this video today. I didn't realize, like, oh, it's 22/11, not 22/11. It's actually 10 to 8, but it's 22/11, 2024. Or for all those Americans out there, it's 11/22, right? And it's really poignant for me that I should be making this video, having set myself this target on this particular date. So there's like a particular affinity that I have with the numbers 1 and the numbers 2, and particularly 22 and 11, or 12 and 11, or any combination of these two numbers. And it all started actually when I decided that I was going to go to Rhythmia, and I decided that I was going to take the step, make the plunge, whatever, go and try and like heal my trauma in a really big and I don't know, acute way, I guess, and go and take some ayahuasca. And even like the journey leading up to that was a journey in itself. It was a process in itself. But my friend had gone, and she came back and called me literally the day that she got out and was like, Fran, you have to go and do this. This is like 20 years of therapy in one night. Like, I had already tried psilocybin earlier that year, and actually I took one dose of that, and within 6 weeks had left my abusive relationship, had stopped doing things that were really unhealthy in my life, was making really clear life decisions, and most importantly, the intrusive thoughts and all of the awful like feelings and then like really bad behaviors that came out of those intrusive thoughts, they literally disappeared overnight. And yeah, it's really dark, so I've got my light on. So all of that disappeared overnight. So I knew already how powerful like plant medicine could be, because I'd already seen it, and we'd already been talking in my friendship group about, you know, ayahuasca, and my friend went to Rhythmia anyway, and she came back and she told me. And then I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna think about going. And I called them up and I had a conversation with basically like a broker for this place. And it turned out to be like significantly more money than I expected it to be. Um, so I said to him, okay, look, I need to wait. I need to wait and see um, how I feel about spending this amount of money. And he said, okay, cool. How about I give you a call back tomorrow? So I said, yeah, okay, call me tomorrow. And then the following day, I emailed him and I said, oh, I'm going to be busy. Please call me the next day. And then the following day, I emailed him and I said, I'm going to be busy again. Can you please call me tomorrow? And then the following day, I did exactly the same thing. And I was just putting this guy off because I didn't want to make a decision about what it is that I needed, what it is that I wanted to do. Right. Anyway, it came to like, I don't know, one night, I think the Tuesday or something, or the Wednesday. And I remember going to bed that night and praying to God and saying, God, look, this is a lot of money. Like, it's not like millions of pounds, but it's a lot of money to invest in something. And it's not going to break the bank, but at the same time, like, it's a lot of fucking money, right? And I said, God, look, just give me a sign. If this is what you want me to do, then give me a sign that this is what you want me to do. And I prayed that and I went to bed. Anyway, I'd completely forgotten to message the guy and put him off again to the next day. So he ended up calling my phone, and I was talking to him and he's like selling to me, you know, because that's his job, right? So he's selling to me and I'm in an hour in and I'm like, still, I don't really know. And I only answered the phone because, like, being British, I think it's rude. Like, I used to struggle to not answer my phone. Now I can happily not answer my phone, but like, I was always like, oh God, I should probably answer because he's calling me and it's rude and I haven't sent him an email. So anyway, yeah, I talked to him and he's trying to sell to me and whatever else. And at the end of the really, really long conversation, I say to him, okay, look, I'm still undecided. Can you please give me a call tomorrow? And I'll let you know, right? So he says, okay, cool, but you know, we're in different time zones. So what time do you want to call me? And I'm like, well, I don't know. What time is it there? I don't know. And he checks the time and comes back on the call and says, oh, it's 11:11. And then he says, that's the God number. This is how I heard it in my head. Yeah, he 100% most certainly did not say it like that, but I heard, that's the God number, God number, God number, God number. Like, it literally like ricocheted off my head. And in that moment, I was like, oh, okay, that's definitely a sign. 100% that's a sign. So I paid him the money. I signed up there and then. And honestly, going to Rhythmia changed my fucking life. Like, it changed my life. Not just going there, but everything that happened. All the sequence of events that happened after that have created a much healthier, like, more healed version of me. Like, I'm just in such a better place because of all of it, right? So then I get to Rhythmia, and lo and behold, what's the number of the group that we're in? We're in 222. And I'm like, okay, cool. Since then, and before then even, but definitely since that point, these two numbers, 22 and 11, have come up for me over and over and over and over again. Like, I was telling my cousin about it before, and she was like, oh, yeah, that's nice. That sounds really good. And then I started screenshotting her, like, all the times that I see this number. Like, I'll pay for my food, and my food's like £21.12. I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Like, I look at the clock, and it's 22:22. It's 22:11. It's 11:11. It's 11:12. It's 12:11. Like, every single fucking time I look at the clock, or I look down at my car, and I'm like, oh, look, it's, I don't know, 11:22, and I've got 212 miles on my dash. Like, okay, cool. Or I'll stop a film, or like just check, oh, I wonder how long is left in this episode, and there's 22 minutes and 11 seconds exactly left. And like, every time I look at my phone, like, it just happens all the time. all the time. I'm always seeing this number, and it's funny because I always see it when I need reassurance. When I'm like, oh, like if I'm in the car and I'm struggling, I'm worried, I'm scared, I'll look down at the dash and I'll see that number and I'll be like, oh, okay, that's cool. Like, I'm getting that message. And then after all of that, I then realized, like, oh, interesting. My children are born 11/12 and 22/12. It's mental. So I really do feel like these numbers, a lot of people are just going to say you're an absolute kook and you change shit. But I do know that numbers represent something, and I mean, I'm never going to remember what it is, so I'm just going to read it to you. Let's see. Okay, so it says, oh my God, I completely forgot. I got locked up and put in a COVID jail with my extremely disabled son. Um, and they like tricked me to get me there. And they were like, yeah, just come and bring all of this paperwork, and there'll be someone there and they can let you go. And then we got in there and they locked the door, and then my son stopped eating and he stopped sleeping and he stopped coming out of his room. And I was like, you lot need to fucking let me go. And everybody was like a fucking Nazi talking about, oh yeah, no, we know it's really, really, really bad. He shouldn't be here, but we're just following orders. And I'm like, I've heard that before. And then funnily enough, when I finally got through to someone, I was calling like, oh man, I was calling human rights lawyers, I was calling members of parliament, I was calling so many different people to try and help me to get me out of this situation, because it was basically false imprisonment. They've locked me up against my will and locked my child up against my will and against their own exemption policy that says that a person with developmental disorder or somebody who's in care of that person cannot be in this situation for the exact reasons that they saw with my child. Anyway, I finally got through to an organization that were like, yes, we're going to come and help you. We're going to come and save you. And that is a whole story for another day. But guess what time the call came through? Yes, the call came through at 22:22. I also wrote a book, which I don't know, people can read if they want to. I'll put the link here or something. But I wrote a book and I spent all this time writing this book. And then imagine, after it had gone through like multiple iterations and I'd had it all checked and I'd paid for somebody to look through it, etc., etc., etc. And then I'd paid for someone to do the front cover and to put it onto Amazon and all of that. And guess what date and what time all of that went final? Yes, it was indeed, I think, the 21st of the 11th or the 22nd of the 11th, something like that. And the time was, of course, like 22:11 or 11:22. I can't remember. I've got it written down. I can't be bothered to look at it, but something like that. So all of these like monumental junctures, these moments in my life, and then anytime that I need reassurance, these numbers come up. So I'm going to tell you what they mean, right? So it says 1111 is a very powerful angel number and signifies manifesting and manifestation of thoughts into reality, signifying independence, motivation, uniqueness, new beginnings, leadership, progress, moving forward, inspiration, and achieving success. So it's about understanding my soul mission and my purpose on this earth, which is something that I have been trying to achieve and trying to um I don't know, live my entire life, right? This is what my whole life feels like it's about. And then it says 222 symbolizes the ability to manifest almost anything in almost impossible things into reality. Trust, faith, serving others, encouragement, adaptability, teamwork, compromise, diplomacy, cooperation, duty, harmony, balance, partnerships, relationships, and selflessness. The number 2 also symbolizes our divine soul's purpose and mission in this life. So here I am at day 100 on the 22nd of the 11th, making this video, trying to follow my soul's purpose, trying to serve others, trying to be selfless. And for me, that has a lot of meaning. Other people might think I'm mental, but I don't really care. And I guess that's the thing, isn't it? It's like, it doesn't even matter if it's real or not. It could all just be in my head. You know, we do have an internal clock, so it's not like I'm kind of unconsciously trained my brain to always look at my phone at the same time, to notice these numbers all the time, to because you know we're taking in more information than actually is directly in front of us with our eyes. But I guess for me, I choose to believe in something that's more magical, that's more mystical, that's more divine, you know, about these things. And I take it as a sign to continue and to continue giving and to continue working towards what I believe is my life purpose. So I think that's it. Okay, something that I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for all the moments in my life that have led me to this point. It's not even like this is some amazing juncture in my life. I'm still quite lost and not really sure what I'm doing. I haven't made it, you know. Um, and when I say all the things, I mean all the things. I don't just mean all the cool stuff like seeing these numbers and having some kind of affiliation and making meaning out of these things. Um, and I don't just mean all the things that you would usually be grateful for. I mean everything, because everything has contributed to this moment. Everything has contributed to who I am, to the things that I have to talk about, to the way that my mind works, to, you know, the way that my heart works, all of that stuff. So I'm really, really grateful. I'm reminiscing on those things, just a few of them now, has made me realize how massive and I don't know, important. I can't think of the word for it, but the magnitude of every small thing that happens. Yeah, okay. That's it.